And once again, I'm going to say greetings to each and every one of you. Akwaba and welcome. Welcome to another round of Culturally Conscious Communications here on the LIB Radio, LIB TV, and LivingInBlack.com network. My name is Kidi Owadu, a.k.a. The Conscious Rasta. And weekday mornings, you and I get together live from 9 a.m. Pacific time to 12 noon Eastern time, 7 p.m. East Africa time, and 5 p.m. GMT. We get together with you to deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives. We deal with entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflicts, all areas of human interactivity, including future studies. Today's date is Tuesday, the 28th day of February, the year 2017 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6257 in the calendar of ancient Kemet, to which we have realigned our cultural clock, as we say around here. Welcome to the 7th millennium. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and LivingInBlack.com. Simulcasting as we do daily on blogtalkradio.com, livestream.com, ustream.tv, as well as you can get us on iTunes, Windows Media, or Real Media Player, and of course the TuneIn app. We are LIB Radio, as well as a couple of other places. And Facebook Live, we are live this morning on Facebook. In our second hour, we're going to be joined, our daily talk radio program, with Brother Irby Phillips. His Tuesday co-host, Dwayne Mooney, and Irby are going to be sharing information, exciting news about the new Forex auto trader that EPX 180 is launching. After a brief hiatus from the currency trading markets, EPX 180 has signed a deal with a new auto trader, and Dwayne will discuss opportunities in the currency trading markets and for network marketing distributors. So that should be interesting. In our first hour, I am absolutely honored to be syncing our efforts here at LIB Radio back up with those of this dynamic group, Africa for the Africans.org, which conducts annual trade and investment tours to the mother continent. They've been doing it. I think they're celebrating now their 10th anniversary, the journey of a lifetime African heritage experience. And my brother, your brother, Brother Bomani Tayemba is joining us today from metropolitan Atlanta. Brother Bomani Akwaba, welcome back to LIB Radio.
All right, greetings, Brother Kidi. How are you? How's the family and how's everybody else?
We black and we shine, and Machio. Good morning to you. Good afternoon, Brother Bomani. It's been too long since we have been working as close as we can with Africa for the Africans. And I'm just excited, really excited right now, just even thinking about the upcoming trips, the experiences of the trips that you've done since I haven't been able to make it. But Brother Bomani, welcome to your LIB Radio. For those who are unfamiliar with this group, Africa for the Africans, talk to us about this group, where it comes from, and what you have been able to accomplish in the last 10 years.
Yes, excellent. I appreciate your energy, Kidi. Yes, Africa for the Africans Tourism Investment is a black-owned independent business enterprise that specializes in providing tour preparation service to connect us on incredible journeys, to connect us to our roots, business, investment, nightlife, shopping, networking. We have a full-fledged repatriation energy with our extended family, our brother David and our sister Amicus that does more aspect of our repatriation and investment once people are clear on the journey that takes them around the country and see opportunities or see things and where they can process look to see themselves living and doing business in the continent in the future. Mm-hmm. So it's a setup that gives you full clarity of how to approach making a move to a country like Ghana, all of the preparation you need, and the tour itself gives you the full feel of it. When we're going around the country, we're doing the full Accra City tour that connects you with the Pan-African history, a lot of shopping, nightlife, and networking. When you go to Kumasi, you're connected into the locations where a lot of incredible crafts are made, different craft villages, the culture center. When you go to Cape Coast Elmina, you are connecting to the experience of what happened to our ancestors before they were taken into the dungeon, and also the experience on what happened to our ancestors when they were housed in different dungeons, Cape Coast and Elmina, and also connect them with the door of no return and the door of return, and aspects of us returning. So it deals with that specific subject of our reconnection, but also a lot of other things built around it to give us a more futuristic, updated connection into the African continent.
Oh, I tell you. And this year, as I'm looking at the website, africafortheafricans.org, it looks like the most ambitious year of all. Am I seeing that you have a total of 4 tours scheduled this year, including 3 countries in Africa for the latter part of the year, and Brazil?
Yes, exactly. We have, for the 2017 schedule, actually 3 journeys. We have Ghana, Togo, and Benin Roots Tour, and that's November 17th to December 1st. And then you have Brazil Roots and Culture Tour, July 21st to the 30th. And then you have Ghana Tour, May 24th to June 6th, which is leaving out literally in less than 3 months.
Wow.
And this has been a year, the 10th anniversary of our journey, to where, the energy and everything as far as our track record, the work we have done have been put in place where we can just put it out in the world market, to where we can put more tours out and offer different opportunities and experience. The tours that you don't see on there yet, which I'm physically working on now, is Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire for May 2018, and Ethiopia, Tanzania for November of 2018. So those are literally finalized. They just have to be put up online. So it's been a good year, because right now the May and the November journey is filling up. So look to just put those fresh schedule out so people can plan ahead of time, because it's something that you don't want to just jump into, something that you want to do your research and plan accordingly, so you can really enjoy the journey of a lifetime and get the best that has to offer.
That's right. And, I have been very fortunate to be able to make 3 of the trips with you, and Brother Mahdi and the crew, the Africa for the Africans crew, and they have been some of the absolute highlights of my life. Just absolutely wonderful. Now, let's go back. Let's take us back to your thoughts, to your mindset, because you're a relatively young man. And when you and Brother Mahdi instigated these tours, 10 years ago, could you ever have imagined that they would blossom into the global touring, and not just travel, but also investment and development? And we're going to talk a lot about that on today's program, because for me, that is as important as any aspect of traveling to the mother continent, is that Africa for the Africans creates not just a mindset, but the actual workable, tangible avenues by which a number of people who went to Africa for the first time on the tours are now living there. But I want you to go back to the beginning, and what would you have imagined it would have blossomed to in these 10 years?
Absolutely not. And I want to take you back to when I actually first started traveling to the African continent. Was 26 years old, and that was in 2004. Went to Senegal May of 2004, then Egypt April 2004, and that really spawned the foundation. And as I traveled the following year to a few different African countries in 2005, including Senegal again, South Africa, and Kenya, it really started coming into space where I just built that energy based on the study groups that we used to do the year or 2 before. And the goal and energy of wanting to be more connected to living and doing business on the African continent spawned that connection with the Gambia in May of 2006. And then when I found out more about Ghana, I realized there were options for us to fly and actually take an initial journey there using the benefits from us working at the airlines. So that really just opened it up. And once I really found Ghana, I realized that this is a good program where we can really do top-notch tours. So I never really saw it blossoming as it is. We were just looking to just really connect our people and also build some experience for ourselves. To really push what we developed in our study group was the need for us to make moves to the African continent and also build an interest in how we can live and do business and also contribute to the growth and development to offer people additional option if they decide that America is not somewhere they want to spend all of their life. And for people who also want to be open to their roots. So we realize that the tour is the best approach because it's hard for you to, want to be interested in Ghana and want to live and do business and all these incredible things. But the foundation of the roots, you're not sure about the country, you don't know much about it. So what better way to explore a country? It's just like documentaries. You get a feel of all of it to where you can just make a decision to move forward and do some more research. So just thankful that I was able to just connect with some incredible people like yourself and other people to where we were able to really grow the elements of building an interest and then using the technology and using all of the documentation from taking just a whole lot of pictures and videos over a 10 to 12 year period of time really brought life to it.
Yeah, it really has brought a lot of life to it. And things have changed. Things have transformed in those years. I know in the years when you and I were working closely to promote the tours, we had this powerful network, the Living in Black social media network, thousands of people around the country, around the world, many of whom, not many of whom, but a number of those who accompanied us on the trips were from this Living in Black family. But, since then, Facebook kind of came along and pushed us out of the way, took all of our people away and just gave them the like button.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, Facebook and YouTube is that dominant video and picture media where everybody's just clogged into it. But absolutely, we must maintain our own independent media outlets also, and it's a shame, but it goes to show you where our head is at, and goes to show you where the pace what we have to keep on building in order to keep our people attention and keep our people connected, and even trying to get more and more people connected to Africa. It's just an ongoing warfare battle on a daily basis.
That's right. And if we could look back at the experiences that we've had, especially 10 years ago, around 2006, 2007, when these trips to Ghana first and West Africa were really just catching a fire. I can recall a time when we were dealing with the investment aspects of the tour, when you were helping people to get their bank accounts set up, to be able to meet lawyers in case they wanted to do some land and make sure that the land deals were legitimate and they'd have the right paperwork and everything. At that time, Ghana's economy was one of the hottest economies in the world. You can recall those days when purchasing 180-day Ghana government-backed notes would pay interest rates as high as 25-27% annually.
Absolutely, I do remember that, and these are still the level of investments that are open, and Ghana is opening more for development opportunities, especially for those of us in the African diaspora. The only bad thing is that you have more Asian and European nations taking advantage of the opportunity because it's not something that the African continent have exclusively for the African diaspora to come and build and develop the continent. That would be ideal and would be nice, but it shows us that we need to step our game up or others will beat us to the punch. So treasury bill stocks, bonds, things like oil stocks, these are all markets that are open. One of the best open market is agricultural land. Agricultural land for us to build more of sustainable communities. One of my favorite places in Ghana, which we're looking to go to in May, is Benu Village.
That's right.
BENU Village. And Benu Village is a wonderful community which is built for those of us on the African diaspora that want to have a realistic, nice, sustainable environment to build onto. So she's looking for more and more people to build a sustainable project in the community that she has established, which would be a diaspora community, which you have a lot of local African families in that local area living in. So it's a real community. It's a community of us and our people, and it's something that we need more and more people to connect with. I myself and my group, we're looking to be the neighboring village and pushing the same thing, which is to build a diaspora community focus on sustainability. So our energy is a combination of business that we're going to be doing, and also a situation where if we have some good brothers and sisters that can be a part of the contribution as far as solar, wind power, catch water system, and understand these science, we'll have space available for them, and we'll work out a contract to where they can come and contribute 6 months to a year to develop the community. So there's a bunch of different things that we're working on. But once you spend 10 years in a country like Ghana, you're able to really see where you can put your best efforts and commitment and where you can really connect people. So that's one of the best things that we've been able to develop is realizing that we must build these sustainable communities and take advantage of the opportunity while it's open.
Well, I'm going to do everything I can to get deeply engaged again. The last time, as you can recall, last time I was able to accompany the trip was in 2010. And at that time, because of the strength of our own social media network, along with the momentum that you, I, Brother Madi, and others who were contributing to this, Brother Dawoodi and Sister Imukus, we were able to donate an entire FM radio station on that trip. About a $15,000 investment came from a whole spectrum of us. It was a difficult time getting it past customs. Brother Baba Pianki finally confirmed to me that the majority of the equipment was set up and in use at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
Excellent.
It was just a phenomenal experience for which, Brother Bomani, I'm so very grateful to have been able to share your original vision and build upon that vision so we could accomplish great things. This year, I want to come back. I don't want to go on the November, December trip to Ghana, Benin, and Togo with you. This time, if we can do it right, we aim to take two components of what is called a renewable energy microgrid. I want to take the solar and wind components, and while over there, work on doing biomass energy conversion, as well as how to create microgrids so that in a village situation, we'd be able to create a small-scale electrical company. This is one of the futures of the African continent insofar as investment, development, sustainable development that is really at its ground level, Bomani. I know you spent a lifetime in technology yourself, so you know what I'm talking about.
And this is perfect because if say if we're building several different diaspora village in Techiman in the Brongafo region, you don't realistically want to put solar on every single individual home. What you want to do is what you're mentioning, which is why it's a perfect setup for us to work these logistics out in the future, so you can be a part of the growth and development of these communities that we're looking to build in Techiman. What you're bringing is perfect, and it's like the perfect location to really test it out. And then our sister Nunet, it's a great contribution to connect something like that with someone who just really needs certain assistance. She has done all of the foundation and dirty work, so now it's just up to us to really just grow that community. And just looking forward to you bringing in these aspects, because you're always on the cutting edge of technology. So let's use the technology to make these things work, and instead of making our efforts counterproductive, we just make it more productive in that sense. So I'm open to this, Katie. Definitely appreciate you sharing it.
Well, there's so much greatness that we can do. One of the things we want to do is right now, I'm going to open up the telephone lines and see if any of our LIB radio listening audience would like to contribute to the show, maybe ask you a couple of questions about the tour, how they might learn more information about it. Telephone lines to be able to speak with my guest, our guest today, Brother Bomani Tayemba, is area code 646-716-9835. You can always get these numbers on the front page of LIB Radio, 646-716-9835. While in the queue, hit the 1 button on your telephone. That'll send me a flag and let me know you absolutely have something that you want to share and want to contribute. Brother Bomani, in the background here in the United States right now, the new political scene with the new administration has got a lot of people freaked out. And
absolutely,
you can tell by just following the social media, not only are they freaked out, they feel kind of like, something dire is hanging over the country and about to happen. And if one looks closely for the evidence of that, they can see there's good reason to be greatly concerned. Let me just ask you this. To what extent do you think it would be valuable for people who have such a concern about the future of living in America that they would start to open up doors, open up channels by which they would have other options should it come to the point that they may just want to get out of America?
Absolutely, Kitty. I'm with you on this. This is actually a perfect concern, and it's been a beautiful year. It's been 2 months into the year so far, and I couldn't ask for a better year because these are the things that, not saying that we're prophets and things like that, but these are the things that Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X envisioned and explained to us the reason why we need to build a connection with the African continent. And in modern day times, brothers like myself and other people out there have been digging and building. Sister Amika's been in Ghana for 30 years. One of the first people I know that was pushing repatriation and investment. And, it seemed like we had, the energy of what we were talking about has really come to the point where a lot of things we talked about were right on point. And I'm happy that we had gotten an early start in really building that connection. So now when people who have concerns about should they continue to work on the plantation in America and should they continue to contribute to making this nation one of the greatest nations on the planet, or should they start using some of their resources to build a future in Africa for their children and their family? And I'll say yes, that's exactly what we've been explaining to people, that the African continent is one of the best continent for investment, and us as people from the African diaspora, that should be the only place that we should be really looking, unless we're looking to just take over the South and build more black enterprises and build them together to where we can just take over more markets and more cities. And it's like if we have done those things in the past and we're still working on it, but it seems like no matter what we have accomplished in America, it has not brought us the level of comfort or safety or security. And that's where people like myself say, hey, that's the point to show you that the African continent is where you need to really put your energy in. So the tours help get you connected there. The investments and the full network of people that we have, it's there. Only thing that we need now is more for our people to physically call and reach out to us for us to build a game plan for them and their future. Mm-hmm. But it's right on point. So I'm looking for more people to reach out to us at africafortheafricans.org so we can keep connected and make this thing work as far as that reconnection move on the African continent.
Yeah. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful time for us to be creating new avenues. And even if the situation with the new administration, the Trump administration, doesn't get as crazy or as bad or as fast as many have predicted, we still win when we engage in this type of permanent, sustainable investment development with the African continent. This phenomena called Africa Rising is placing the African continent on the cusp of being the most powerful center of world global economic activity for the 22nd century. We would be absolutely foolish, Brother Bomani, to be people of African heritage in this country, claiming to be Pan-African, claiming we love our heritage, we love our history, we love our continent, yet allowing Chinese, South Koreans, Indians, Europeans, Arabs, and everyone else to do the direct investment and development and the building on the continent while we're over here running up and down the street with our hands up saying, don't shoot.
Well, unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The opportunities are open, and then other nations have seen it, and they're jumping in on it. And that's why we have to just really build a better market connection and let people know the reason and all of the importance of why we should invest in the African continent. Some people, the conversation is just not as simple as that. Distracted by this different elements of Africa being marketed to them in a different sense. So people like ourselves is marketing it in its rich value and great opportunities. So you begin to just get confused when you see so much of us invest in money in white institution when they could either do two things: build the so-called black communities that we live in, the communities that we predominantly live in but don't own much of, so that's always a great investment. And then also different aspects of building communities in Africa. It's simple, and it just confuses me when I see so-called brothers and sisters who were struggling at maybe 10, 20, 30 years in their life, and then now they achieve level of resources, and it's trying to get that validation from the white nation, the white corporations, instead of reaching out to small pockets of people like ourselves that really have the best interest in the future for our people. So, it's a non-stop marketing and presentation of really just getting out there and just letting people know, shooting videos, being available, and then just putting your best effort. But we definitely need more exposure.
That's right.
Because I really don't feel like, people like myself who have been doing certain work is just don't really have that outlook. I look on YouTube, subscription 1,394. Then I go look at some other people's pages that are talking about this derogatory stuff in our community.
Or
they have 50,000
debating and beefing
5 million
with each
hits.
other. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I turn on YouTube and I just see this person beefing with this person in the so-called conscious community connecting and beefing with this person, and it's just ongoing madness. And it's like, where are the people that stand up for us being progressive and moving forward? Even some of the progressive names, you see them getting caught up into this childish things.
That's right.
Which is like, which pulls you to the side and confuses and throws you off, because you're like, all right, don't you understand that, when you pick up a mic and you proclaim that you're looking to connect with your people and do certain things, that you have to walk a certain line, other than that, you just confuse people. And, so these are some of the things that I'm disappointed with our people that could be really pushing the energy for what we've been pushing for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And, so you talk about factories should have been built
That's right.
a few decades ago in different countries like Ghana, which Kwame Nkrumah laid out the foundation in 1957 and laid out different parts of the country where industrial development should happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a good time for us now to re-look at these things and get ourselves organized.
Just to give you an example, and then I'm going to go to the telephone line. In 2013, China invested a total of $40.7 billion in as many as 127 African continental development projects.
Wow.
That was about the time that China has taken over the majority of trade with the African continent, beating both the European Union and America combined. China got a 5-to-1 return on that investment that year, getting a $210 billion in trade with Africa after investing $40.7 billion. That same year, African people in America invested almost the exact same number in excessive holiday shopping during November and December. And I can assure you, brother, we did not get a 5-to-1 return on that investment. I just finished calculating what African Americans, Afro-Amirs, spent in November and December 2016 on Christmas shopping, and it was a whopping $51.8 billion, for which, if you and I look around for any evidence of that's going to create permanently for us, we may not be able to see any of that evidence. So Africa for the Africans, investment is the pathway forward. You and I are going to do the best we can to convince people to join us on that pathway. But if you don't mind, Brother Bomani, can we take our first phone call for the show today?
Sure, absolutely. I'm ready. I'm open.
Area code 310. You're on with Brother Bomani Tayemba. Give us your name and where you're calling from.
All right. Greetings to both of you brothers this morning. This is Irby Phillips from Torrance, California. How are you both today?
We're doing all right, Brother Irby.
Doing well, brother. Good to hear from you.
I have a ton of questions here, but I'm only going to narrow it down to two because the brother has inspired me so much in my thinking with what he's doing.
That's
First question is regarding cultural tourism.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of what you're doing in planning trips to come back to countries in Africa, I believe, is related to cultural tourism. Can you share with us how big of an opportunity this can become for African Americans in participating in supporting cultural tourism back to the motherland?
Excellent question.
Perfect. I appreciate your question. That is one of the solutions to fix our current problem in America, where we have so much resources that are being cycled around, and it's being put to build, white institutions or maintain their wealth. You're talking about every time you talk about from your mortgage to insurance to the daily spending to all of the holiday spending that we do. Even if we just put like 10% of that energy and say that we're going to use that money to travel to the African continent and spend some time and learn more about the roots and the culture, and actually put our money together in group investments, maybe family of 1, 2, or parties of 2 to 5,
mm-hmm.
And purchase land, build communities, build sustainable business and build things to where we can share each other resources and also begin to use our engineering skills to lay down the foundation of the industrial development that needs to go on in the different countries, the factories that needs to be built to supply us with the things that we need versus, and which will cut back down on imports. You're talking about a mega nation within 1 to 2 years if we were to just start doing more of those things. And I know it's not as simple as that because you have a high percentage of our people that have been indoctrinated in their womb or indoctrinated even just in our genes to enforce the system itself and keep spending money into it. So our plan is to open more energy to divert that, but that will realistically change a whole lot, and it's based on the percentage of our people building into it. We realize that it's not going to be a whole lot of people right away. Even like the last 10 years, the interest of people traveling and doing business in Africa have just incredibly increased, even though it's just a small percentage. So anything yourself or anyone can do to open that up, we're open for. The main thing is that we have all of the connections and link and every aspect of what else we need done on the continent. We just need the people and for them to use some of their resources to make it happen.
All right, Brother Irvin, you had more comment or question?
And
then just one real quick comment to
what
give
is it that
examples
we can do here in the LIB family, the listeners across the world, to dispel the myth about African countries being just wilderness and uneducated people, and there is no hope for economic prosperity or health?
Perfect. And what we have done literally is to document as much as we can document. Example, when we do when we're on the tours, we have a top-notch repatriation investment conference. It solely deals with people who have returned to the land after their ancestors, and they've acquired a certain level of experience on how it is to live and do business in the country, and how it is to make a move from America and make it work for yourself. So that shows, that's a showcase through this video documentation or small documentaries or just doing stories on people while we're there. So that opens it up. We have panel also of Ghanaians that are part of the different aspect of the country, Land Commission, Ghana Investment Promotion. You have representation by different attorneys, different people in different professional aspects, or people with investment presentation. And they're also sharing with you how incredible it is to be there in Ghana. And then while we're driving around the country, we're documenting being around the country and connecting with other people who have lived and done business in the country in different parts of it. So that's literally showing as much documentation as you can and success stories from the ones who have made that move. And then while I'm here throughout the day for anyone who is interested in communicating with somebody right here in the U.S. To give them clarity, and I have the time to go through certain things with them. So it's it's a system that we have set up that's working. We just still need more and more interest to really just make things work. So that's where the listening audience and other people come in play.
And I would just add to that we have these wonderful examples of people who have made these investments in tourism and trade and been able to stay there permanently. Sister Imacus, who's probably as bright a winning superstar among our cultural community as anyone we're connected to, with the One Africa resort there on the Cape Coast region, right near the enslavement dungeons at Elmina. It's a wonderful example of creating that permanent solution there. And not only that, but her life, her health, living there. Brother Bomani, isn't it true that repatriating, living in Africa, building in Africa, doesn't that really help one to stay young and vital and alive?
Yes, absolutely, Brother Keely. The thing of it is, when you are in a four-season climate or a climate like we have in America, it's not consistent it doesn't give you a level of consistency that you need to really just heal your body. So throughout Ghana, you just have a tropical environment all year round. So as far as fruits and vegetables, the things that you need, you're in an environment where you can grow what you need, or things are naturally grown. Things that we have issues with here with the lack of seeds or no seeds at all.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in the African continent, your watermelons and grapes and things like that still have seeds. So the food that you're eating is nurturing your body. So you're aging backwards versus aging forward here when you put all these holistic things in your body.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and then you're right there by the ocean, and you're in an element where the pace is a lot slower, where it's not this crazy rat race, and people wake up in the morning and actually communicate with people and good morning and things like that. So the culture, the energy doesn't stress you out to where you start aging rapidly. You can look at someone that's 60 years old from here and someone 60 years old in Ghana, and you'll see the person that's 60 years old here look like they're more like 80, and the person in Ghana 60 years old look more closer to where they're 40. Like America's, I still can't believe she's 75. Every time I look at her, it's like I'm thinking that she's in her mid-40s going on 50.
Right. That is so true, so very true, vital. Brother Irby, did you have a follow-up comment or question you want to share? Hopefully we've convinced you that you probably do want to join us on one of our trips to the mother continent.
Yes, I am convinced. It didn't take much convincing. But yeah, I'm coming on one of the trips this year. And I just want to close with a statement. Listening to you brothers talk about this, I don't want to hear any other African Americans complain about Asians or Europeans from different countries around the world moving into the countries of Africa while we sit idle. I don't want to hear the complaints. I don't want to hear them pointing fingers. I don't want to hear them complaining about them doing. If they see the opportunities, what's wrong with us seizing the same opportunity?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But of course, it's going to take a lot more than just our rhetoric. We're going to have to really, really commit. And we can do this. So thank you, Brother Irby, for doing all you do to contribute to the value of our shows.
Thank you, brother.
Perfect. I appreciate you, brother. And we do tours to the African continent every May and November.
All right, so start putting them break open that pennies drawer and start rolling them pennies up. Let's get the deposit in ASAP.
That's right.
And thank you for your call, Brother Irby. We'll be talking to you at the top of the hour with another round of Experience of Rebirth here on LIB Radio. While we're talking about the November trip, this time you're returning again to Ghana, Benin, and Togo. Talk to us a little bit about that trip. I have been bragging about that trip to Benin for so long, especially seeing the work that was being done there at Ikoloja, the Pan-African community that they are building out there. Talk to us about the upcoming trip, and then do you have any updates about what's happening there in Benin?
Not really as far as updates to Benin, but I can just let you know what we're looking to do there. As far as Benin give you that incredible aspect of what happened to ancestors, and also you get a good opportunity on seeing how colonialism from the British perspective destroys Ghana, and how colonialism destroys Togo and Benin. Mm-hmm. So you get a real feel of comparing it. And then in Ghana you have the Cape Coast Elmina Holocaust Dungeon. In Benin you have Ouida, where it's more of a representation right there in the Atlantic Ocean of the door of no return. A monument is put up, but you get to connect into the actual township of that community and learn from the local people the process of what happened during the era of transatlantic European slave trade and then also colonialism. Mm-hmm. So it just really flows, but another incredible part of it is the culture. When you're there in Togo and Benin, we're there for twice as long this time, so that's the good thing about it. 2 days in Togo and 3.5 to 4 days in Benin. Yeah. So you have a country that's a lot more developed than the time that we went as far as road, bridges, and buildings. And we'll get to this, really get a feel of the culture. We will go to Ikoloja and see the growth of that community and that school since we first connected there in October, November of 2009.
Yeah. And just a couple of my thoughts on this. For one, we've always heard so much about voodoo or voodoo or Santeria, these spiritual systems based upon the Orishas of the Yoruba culture. Well, when we go to Benin, you get a chance to see it up close, personal, be in it. It's surrounding you. You go to sleep at night and it's in the air. You wake up in the morning, it's in the air. You see the elders walking down the street. It's in the air. It's so thick. It's so beautiful. I'll never forget that time when we got there to the coast and we circled the tree 7 times counterclockwise to signal that we're coming back home. Brother Bomani, that fused itself deep into my spirit. And when we got to Ikoloja, one of my favorite pictures is still of myself holding this beautiful little baby girl there at that resort, and talking to the couple from Guadeloupe, the French Caribbean, who had relocated there. And their experience, they opened the school, they took in the local children, they were teaching some 75 children, and that the government had given them 4 hectares of land. And we went out, we toured that beautiful little village that they were building. And then didn't they say incredible that the government was so impressed with their contribution and their behavior and their investment in development that they had just been given a second land grant of, I think, some 200 to 220 hectares of land. A hectare is 2.14 acres. Brother Bomani, am I making that stuff up?
No, you're not making up. And these are the things when people talk about Africans in the African continent don't like black people in the African diaspora. It's like showing people all of the different schools from Ekolaja right there in Ouida, Benin, to Trinity Home Foundation. We never stopped going there.
That's right.
October 2007 was the first time we went there, and those 2 experiences from both of those schools are 2 of the best experience as far as the program, because the people that they're dealing with, the sister in Benin, the families from Guadeloupe. I want to say that they did relocate from Guadeloupe to I want to say France. And then from France, they was able to connect with their repatriation in Benin. Mm-hmm. But once different governments and African continent see us doing incredible work,
that's right.
That opens up to where they're probably like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what they're looking for. Because one of us, we have to. We can't just sit around and wait for each other to make moves. So those of us that are ready to make moves, we have to make moves there, and then. Then same as the government and other aspect of people that are looking to connect with us, they're going to make their moves, and together we could just make a lot of moves and connect. And this is a perfect story of how we as a people have been able to connect and bring substantial resources to the continent. I mean, these are children that were more than likely be in a homeless aspect, or be in a low budget facility, and now they're in a rich culture environment, being groomed and connected by Africans in the diaspora that have their best interests, that want to share what they have experienced in the diaspora, and also want to learn. And together, this is where I feel like we can make moves, because once our children start growing up in the African continent, what we're doing, we're combining our great minds and things that we can really do, because we have to really look at the brain drain that has sucked out the best resources of our people over the last 400 or 500 years. From the transatlantic European slave trade to where scholarships, job offers to our people from the African continent and the Caribbean, taking these positions to where they're working at the top institutes and corporations in America. So that's another aspect of what we're looking at. The African continent can't thrive if all of the best of its minds are been consistently removed for a few hundred years. So that creates the void to have more of us fill that void. So we need the best of our people, the engineer, the scientists, the people who can make the move, the people who fuel and run this nation every day, the people that if they leave this nation would not be the same. But we need those people, our people, to contribute more to that growth. So these are things where we keep pointing out different things and success stories of incredible people there that have paved the way, that needs our support to keep it going.
That's right. That's so beautiful. And I really can't wait to see what they've done there at that village Ikoloja. And then to get to Akosambo and to see Brother Daoudi and Brother
Shamsuddin.
And Brother Brandon and what they are doing together, building renewable type of homes or new energy, what do they call them? Permaculture homes. I really want to partner up with them and incorporate energy grids, micro energy grids at Benin, at Okosambo, and at other places like Ukolaja. There's an incredible opportunity. People have got to know, Brother Bomani, what you and I and others who have accompanied this journey annually, these journeys annually with Africa for the Africans.org. Brother Bomani, they got to see it firsthand for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why, family. If you want to see some visuals, you can check me out on YouTube. It's Bomani Tayimba.
That's right.
Or youtube.com/Bomani2007. But more so, the website AfricaForTheAfricans.org connect you with all elements of our documentation to lay something out in the best presentation that we can put together for you. That way you can see what we're realistically doing, and you can just you can reach out to us. It's hard to get people interested if we don't have proper presentation. So that's why, Keita, you have been great, because one of the things you do top notch. One of the things you do top notch production, because when people are looking at us, it's just important for us to produce good stuff versus just raggedy information.
That's right.
So we have to so it's that accountability factor that if we're going to lead and share, we must do it in the best way.
We're not a raggedy people. In fact, if people really check the facts, historical facts, African people, especially those of us in the United States, 47.7 million of us, that includes 2 million born outside the country living among us, we are the wealthiest African people within any nation that there is on earth. So therefore,
absolutely,
one might presume that we should step up and take responsibility at the greatest level, especially at critical junctures in history. We have China coming in and doing all over the African continent, Brother Bomani, what we're supposed to be doing. And you got a lot of Pan-Africans complaining, oh, China trying to take over, China trying to take over. I say, you don't really understand the dynamic there. China is doing this for their own benefit, but unlike the Europeans, China is doing development for commodities trades. They're not doing development for extraction the way that the Europeans did it, because the Europeans did it in a way where they say, well, we want the cash. We'll sell your commodities for cash, and then you take the cash and you buy back from us, because in that whole deal was an unfair trade, left the Africans always on the short hand. Now, with China coming in and building infrastructure, you and I can come in. If China builds highways and railroads across the continent, which they are doing, and dams, generate electricity, seaports, etc., then that's an invitation for you to come in and build tourism facilities, to build hospitals, libraries, schools, everything else that a major city needs. Once it's established, we can come in and do. Or we can sit on the sidelines and complain that Chinese are doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a perfect analysis, because if we're going to say the Chinese are doing what we should be doing, that should make us want to step our game up. And the aspect of what the Asian countries are doing, you can't not. They see a need to do investment in business in an incredible continent, and the government in different aspects in the country they don't see us, so they're like, all right, well, this is a better deal than not having any deal to do the development that we need. So I'm hoping that it's something more of an eye-opener, and something where we feel a need to take accountability and a need of urgency to say, hey, we need to step up our game. Let me reach out to brothers like Keita, because he has a lot of connection on different people that's doing things in Africa, and let me connect with him and make some moves. It's like your phone should be ringing nonstop and emails coming in for this aspect, since you have connected with a lot of people that are literally doing incredible things in the African continent. You're probably one of the few outlets that have that connection, and that's why I'm glad we connected. And it should fuel more people to really connect with you as that base. So we'll see what happened in 2017. Now that people are on their heels and they don't really know what's going to happen based on all of the madness that's going on with different policies, and every time you turn around, the current administration is creating coming up with new executive orders, and people just don't know. So this is one thing that we know for sure, that the African continent is going to have to be developed, and things are rolling and things are growing, and either we can take part in the growth and development, or we can just stay here and just on the sideline wondering what's going to happen to us in America.
And being chased out of Chicago, chased out of Los Angeles, being chased out of Philadelphia, being chased out all across the country of neighborhoods that we had occupied for 60, 70 years or so, within 10 minutes of the economic centers of the world's richest cities, we degenerated into poverty and crime and hopelessness. Meanwhile, on the African continent, these young children are so eager to get into school and to learn. And they love us over there, Brother Bomani. You know, one of the things that we always do is we always take over things that we transfer to the locals. We make donations. We take school supplies. I was very fortunate, Brother Bomani. I always took laptop computers and other digital technologies and these type of things that, you know, help people to build their businesses. And boy, Brother Bomani, I'm getting more excited by the minute. I hope that 10 people, 15 people, 20 people right now who are listening to me, speak with you, will today initiate the contacts between themselves and Africa for the Africans. Tell Brother Bomani, I heard you on LIB Radio. I heard you on these other radio interviews you're doing across the country, and I'm feeling you, my brother. I feel that a part of my own personal destiny is following Africa for the Africans to these phenomenal locations.
Yeah, it's been great because, you know, people have been reaching out like that over the years, and, you know, understand that it's not alarming consistently reaching out, but do appreciate everyone that have reached out, and we look for, you know, more people to connect other people with, you know, all the incredible things that we're doing, because it's all from the heart. It's all works that we're contributing to create a future for our people in the you know, in the Americas, since we realize that our future is just,
we're at a crossroads.
You know, at one point we were second-class citizen. In America, it was white folks and black folks. Now it's like a whole different genre, and it's, you know, to the point where percentage of us are getting less, and other people are coming in, and, you know, and it's just getting worse and worse. Even though a small percentage of us are being boosted up and put on TV and put in position to where it make it seem like there's this black glory. You have all these crazy reality shows showing us in some of our most derogatory, worst form. And it's just like an all-out madness going on. So people like myself believe that we have to be the force to maintain the balance and offer those opportunities. Because as much as we're working to do certain things, you have you know, institutions putting some of the worst coons and Uncle Toms in front of TVs and making it seem like they're representing our people and giving them voice and distraction to just lead us in different ways and confuse us. So it's been this madness going on. So I just really feel good about what we're doing and what we've been doing, because that does make a difference. We just need more people to do it.
That we can extricate ourselves from the madness, and comparatively the cost of living for doing so is definitely on our side for making the move. Such as, and I know the Ghana CD, I think the first year we went there, you became a millionaire the first day you arrived when you converted something like $150 US into Ghana CDs. You became a millionaire. And of course they did repurpose the CD, the Ghana currency, by taking, I think, 4 zeros off of it. But still, the US dollar goes a long way. Of what I've been able to calculate from my last trip, it was going insofar as bang for your buck. About $1 US would buy about up to $7 worth of Ghana living. And so, you know, people who are retiring on fixed income over here, isn't it true, Brother Bomani, that they make up a significant number of the people repatriating to Africa so they can live on their same fixed income, which over here would have kept you right at the poverty line? You go to Ghana, you can get you a home and have some housekeepers there living in your home with you. Am I telling the truth?
That is perfect, PD, because that's what these layouts make it easy for those of us that are in certain positions. Like if you just retired from the military and then you just retired from another position, and then, you know, you want to live somewhere tropical to where you can just have a staff of people, or just, you know, people around to just provide certain incredible service for you, help around the house, things like that. It's there for a reasonable price, and also it's one of the ways that we can contribute our connection to this offering certain employment opportunity, because that's what that's literally considered, and that's on a small scale. Just like if you create a factory in a certain community, you realize that if you brought in electricity, you can share that with the community, but plus you can also offer different economical opportunities. So Ghana is perfect for those of us who are retired, or those of us that are investors and business people that have certain things going on, to where we can create an expansion of our company or corporation there in Ghana and be able to benefit much better. And when we're doing these sustainable communities, like I was talking about, it's also a way for us not to be, some of us can't understand the aspect of this not paying for electricity, water, and not paying for mortgage, and not paying for some of these things, because that's been drilled into our mind. And that's where all of your resources go. So if you're in a situation where you have your own community and you have all the food you need to grow and things like that, and you're somebody that retired from here and you join a community at Benin Village, the amount of available income you have left is incredible, to the point where you can reinvest it. Here, because I do a lot of IT technician appointments, and sometimes I'm at different elders' home or their senior centers, and it's like, this place is like a debt trap. It's like, all right, you've spent all 30, 40 years of your life, and this is where you end up being put, and then all of the money that you have is being drained, to where you're consistently going to the doctor, the pharmacy. Like some places you see just nothing but pills and terrible medication. You go to Ghana, coconut water, fruits, vegetables, real medicine, herbs that you can just pull from the ground and boil and drink. I mean, it has all the elements to provide the best life for us. So if you build up resources here, I don't see why we shouldn't just make those moves and use it to build, because it makes a difference. So I just have to, we just have to step our game up more and just reach out to people and present it to them on how they can really just make a move and live and be a part of a community around comfortable people. So
that's right.
It's people like myself, divine mission, and I appreciate Brother Kidi for this, really just pushing it. It's a hard fold to hold.
Let me ask a couple more quick questions, so we'll have to wrap it up and bring in the next hour show. There was a place we went to. It was owned by a brother and sister. They had relocated there in the Cape Coast region and created a little hotel and a restaurant right there where the little river kind of met the ocean, and there was that curve. You remember what I'm talking about? Was it the Lion's Den?
Yes, and this was in Winneba, which is between Accra and Cape Coast.
Right, Winneba.
And that's right in the Atlantic Ocean. That is the Rocktop Beach Hotel.
Rocktop
I haven't been
Beach,
in
that's
years,
right.
But that's a great example of someone that from the Caribbean that was, that Jerry Rollins reached out to and say, we want you to be a part of this repatriation energy. So that's still there, but some of these operations just don't get a lot of business, and that's been the issue over the period of time. We go there and we do incredible work, but then we don't get the clientele that we need to keep it rolling.
Yeah, and have you been back to the Rocktop Beach Hotel?
I haven't been back there. I want to say that they're not really in business, and I have to really just find out what's going on with them, because it's somewhere that's perfect for weddings, getaway, and private. I mean, they have the beach right there. They have the sustainable land.
Oh, that was
so I just have to reach out to folks like that.
Yeah, the most beautiful beach. And then in the Akosombo region, I remember the other couple had relocated and opened the Lion's Den, and they were building a real sustainable community there as well.
Yeah, Brother Kwaku and Harriet, the Black Star Lions Cafe. It's been a few years since we've been to the Eastern region. The thing of Ghana is it's so many different regions in Ghana, and it's hard to keep all of the regions on a schedule. So the Eastern region and the Volta region was two of the regions that we've been to that we don't have on the schedule. But we have the Bronghafa region because of the sustainable village. So we had to just choose between those three regions. So. And since the fall of Fiancra, I don't really know what's going on with Fiancra. We had to make a move that was more viable, and so on. So,
Brother Bomani, I hate to do this, but we got to wrap it up. We got another show coming on at the top of the hour, Experience of Rebirth. I've put up some contact information. A couple of comments that come in. LaDonna, who we were just in Jamaica a few weeks ago, she said, yes, This is another life-changing journey I must do. LaDonna, you will not regret it. Cindy said, I'll watch the replay. Sounds interesting. Divine says, this self-sustainable community can be built with ease. A community source of income, gardens, basic water purification systems, and solar energy can be done. I also do solar panel assembly. It won't necessarily be done with ease. It is work, but it is work that is so satisfying, and you just do the work day in, day out, day in, day out. And as the years pass, you see more evidence of all of the investments and the work we've done. Brother Bomani, we're going to have to wrap it up. People do need to know how they can maintain contact with you. The website, africafortheafricans.org. But also, if you care to share phone number and or email, that would be great.
Yes, perfect, family. Bomani Tamba here from Africa for the Africans Tours and Investment. You can reach me directly at AFTA2010@msn.com. You can call me directly on our business mobile, 404-931-9429. On YouTube at youtube.com/Bomani2007. And for the Facebook folks, facebook.com/Bomani. And Bomani is spelled Bomani.
All right, man. What can I say, Brother Bomani? I knew today was going to be a great call. I always get so excited when we talk like this. Medase P. Thank you so very much for all you're doing. And let's build greater than ever together.
Absolutely. Appreciate your energy and appreciate everybody listening to the call, and appreciate everyone spreading the energy, and we'll keep in touch, and I'm here on standby to communicate with everyone, ready to connect with us to make Africa the nation for us in the future.
That's right. And assure yourself, I'm going to be on at least one or two of the trips with you this year. I've made that commitment. Peace to you, my brother.
Oh, yeah, we're going to make it happen. You take care, family.
Respect, love to the family. And that's how we do it around here, people. This is the real deal. And Brother Bomani is just such a brilliant young brother, a brilliant young light. It's been a joy for me to know him, to watch him grow into this destiny. And I just want to see more of us, you and I. Brother Irby had talked about he's going to make the trip, and LaDonna, and I'm going back on the trip. If you do contact Brother Bomani and you heard about it from MIB Radio, do let him know. Say, hey, listen, hearing you and Brother Keaty talk, I just couldn't resist. Tell me more. I need to know more. And let's do this thing. You're going to be hearing much, much more about Africa for the Africans during the course of the upcoming weeks. Right now, I'm going to take a short pause. Brother Irby and Brother Dwayne Mooney are going to come back with their weekly contributions. In the meantime, you need a little bit more lesson, a little funkin' lesson in your life, so don't you even think about going to where? You're tuned into LIB Radio, LIB TV, and Living in Black Dot.